After the age of 60, you should not sleep in this manner. During your senior years, it causes subtle harm to your heart and shortens your lifespan. As you become older, did you know that the way you sleep could be causing your heart to suffer without your knowledge? Indeed, such is the case. The majority of people are unaware of the fact that certain behaviors that occur during the night can gradually cause your heart to lose its capacity to rest, mend itself, and perform as it should. In this video, we are going to take a look at 6 common sleeping habits that may appear to be harmless, but on closer inspection, they may actually be raising your chance of developing cardiac problems in your 60s, 70s, and beyond. Each of these routines, from posture to time to temperature, has the potential to influence your blood pressure, respiration, and heart rhythm while you are sleeping, and you may not even be aware of it while you are doing so. Continue to pay attention to the very end, because we are not simply recognizing the issue itself. We are going to discuss the significance of these routines, the physiological processes that are taking place within your body at the time that they occur, and the minor adjustments that you may make in order to safeguard your heart while you are sleeping. In the event that you have been experiencing fatigue upon waking up, experiencing feelings of fogginess during the day, or wondering why your heart seems to be working overtime, this video is specifically designed for you. There are times when the answer should not be found in what you are doing during the day, but rather in what is occurring when you are sleeping at night. It's time to get started. First and foremost, sleeping on your back with your head elevated to an excessive degree. The majority of individuals prefer to sleep on their backs, and there are circumstances in which doing so might really be advantageous for the alignment of the spine. When your head is raised too high, particularly with numerous pillows or a thick wedge, it can quietly strain your cardiovascular system in ways that become more problematic over time. This is especially true when your head is raised to a position that is excessively high. It is possible for your neck and upper chest to experience a small compression when your head is elevated at an angle that is excessively steep. Because of this position, airflow through your windpipe may be restricted, which makes it more difficult for oxygen to flow easily while you are sleeping. Moreover, when your body detects a decrease in oxygen levels, it causes the heart to work harder in order to compensate. This results in an accelerated heart rate throughout the nocturnal hours as well as elevating blood pressure. There are 2 things that are particularly hazardous if you are currently dealing with concerns related to your heart or circulation. The ease with which this routine can first feel is one of the factors that frequently causes it to go overlooked. The act of raising one's head can be beneficial for individuals who suffer from acid reflux, sinus congestion, or even merely out of habit. A slightly unusual stance for breathing is created in the body as a result of this, despite the fact that it can be beneficial to digestion in the short term. Over the course of time, this can gradually diminish your heart's capacity to acquire adequate slumber during the night. A further concern is the circulation of the product. When you bend forward with your head and neck, even slightly, it can cause a change in the flow of blood between your heart and your brain. An individual who is young, healthy, and has strong arteries should not be concerned about it. However, as we get older and our arteries become more rigid, even a slight shift in position might have potentially more significant effects. Let's take Harold, who is 74 years old. At night, he would always stack 2 or 3 pillows in order to alleviate the stress in his shoulders. Nevertheless, over the course of the past year, he started waking up with a pounding heart and a dry stomach. His doctor recommended that he try a pillow that was flatter and offered more support for his neck. Within a short period of time, his heart rate during the night had returned to normal. Moreover, he experienced a more rejuvenating sleep. Something that appeared to be a minor adjustment turned out to be a significant one. When you go to bed, your body wants to relax and not struggle to take a breath. In addition, your heart, particularly after the age of 60, requires those hours to slow down rather than speed up. Therefore, if you are someone who sleeps on their back, you should check the height of your pillow. It is typically sufficient to have just one pillow that provides support. One that allows for comfortable breathing and maintains your head in a position that is in alignment with your spine. Additionally, if you wake up feeling exhausted or snore, you might want to think about tracking your sleep position. Adjusting the angle at which your head is positioned may not seem like much, but it has the potential to reduce the strain placed on your heart and enhance the rate at which you recover each night. There are times when the smallest adjustments can have the greatest impact, particularly when it comes to the way in which your heart functions while you are still asleep. Secondly, going to bed immediately after consuming a substantial meal for dinner. For a significant number of senior citizens, dinner is the primary meal of the day. During this time, you take a moment to relax, spend time with your loved ones, and savor a delicious meal. On the other hand, if you go to bed too soon after that substantial dinner, you can be placing a minor amount of stress on your heart without even being aware of it. In the event that you consume a substantial meal and then lie down shortly afterward, your body is compelled to digest food in a position that it was not intended for. Gravity is no longer able to assist in the smooth emptying of your stomach. Rather than that, your digestive system is forced to work harder while you are resting, which implies that your heart is also forced to work harder at precisely the moment when your body ought to be shutting down. Blood is rerouted to the stomach and intestines, which keeps your body in a more active and awake state. In addition to this, the process of digesting contributes to an increase in heart rate. When you eat a substantial meal, your sympathetic nervous system begins to activate. There is a component of your body that is responsible for preparing your organs, including the heart, for action. After you have finished eating, your heart will remain somewhat higher for a number of hours before you go to sleep. It's possible that you won't feel it, but your body will. The problem of acid reflux is another one to consider. After eating a meal that is particularly substantial or fatty, lying down too soon afterward can make it easier for stomach acid to make its way up the esophagus. This results in pain, coughing, and even breathing that is disrupted while the individual is sleeping. Furthermore, despite the fact that this may appear to be nothing more than an annoyance, anything that interferes with your breathing or oxygen levels during the night causes your heart to work harder than it should. I'll illustrate this with an example. A man named George, who was 78 years old, was someone I knew who enjoyed eating a large meal of spaghetti at 8 o'clock in the evening. Following that, I would go straight to bed each and every night. After some time had passed, he started waking up with a thumping heart, feeling sweaty, and being confused overall. He initially believed that it was nightmares, but, after undergoing a heart monitor and a sleep study, his physician ultimately determined that it was due to late-night digesting and mild reflux. He was able to get his heart rate back to normal during the night by triggering sympathetic reactions while he was sleeping. This was accomplished by simply moving dinner 2 hours earlier and taking brief walks thereafter. This helped to settle his system after he had been sleeping. Although it might not seem like much, timing is really important. Your body should be given at least 2 to 3 hours of rest between the time you eat your last meal and the time you go to bed. While you are standing, your digestive system has sufficient time to start the digesting process, which allows your body to enter sleep mode without having to exert as much effort as it would otherwise. Also, if you have a tendency to eat the most at night, you should try to eat less during supper. Consider meals that are heavy, oily, or salty late in the day, vegetables that have been steamed, soups, and lean proteins. It takes longer to digest, and it has the potential to cause your heart rate to increase at precisely the moment when it should be decreasing. It is impossible for your body to digest and restore itself at the same time. So the greatest time for your body to mend is while you are sleeping. In other words, if you give your heart the peaceful and restful night it deserves, you are giving yourself a much better chance of waking up healthier, more at ease, and with a lot less pressure on the organ that keeps you going. I would appreciate it if you could use the second comment section below to let me know that you are continuing viewing this video and that you are finding these insights to be helpful. I strongly suggest that you subscribe to the channel and activate the bell if you have not already done so. This will ensure that you do not miss any videos. With your assistance, we are able to continue producing high-quality content that will both inform and inspire you. Now, let's proceed with our plans. Number 3. Waking up frequently as a result of sleep apnea that has not been corrected. To put it simply, one of the most detrimental things that can take place to your heart. There are a lot of people who have sleep apnea who are unaware that they have it while they are sleeping. In addition, if you are over the age of 60 and you wake up numerous times during the night, gasping, snorting, or feeling short of breath, it is possible that you are experiencing it without being aware of what it is. A disorder known as sleep apnea occurs when your airway becomes obstructed, either partially or completely, while you are sleeping. When this occurs, your body will involuntarily cease breathing for a brief while. When you are unconscious, your brain swiftly wakes you up, sometimes for only a moment, in order to get you to breathe again. Following that, you go back to sleep, without your complete awareness. This may occur dozens or even hundreds of times throughout the course of a single night. Every time, however, your heart is aware of it. When you take a breath, the amount of oxygen in your blood decreases with each pause. When you are under stress, your body reacts by activating the stress system, boosting your blood pressure, and instructing your heart to work harder. Your cardiovascular system will suffer damage as a result of this repetitive stress over time. Arrhythmias, high blood pressure, thicker heart walls, and an increased risk of getting a stroke or heart failure are all potential outcomes of this condition. A significant number of individuals believe that their inability to get adequate sleep is merely a natural consequence of becoming older. People either say that they are just light sleepers or that they blame it on stress. On the other hand, if you are snoring loudly, waking up, gasping for air, or feeling fatigued during the day, even after spending the entire night in bed, these are warning signs that you definitely should not ignore. Permit me to tell you a story. For many years, Linda, who was 76 years old, had been experiencing feelings of exhaustion. In her mind, it was merely a natural consequence of growing older. On the other hand, her daughter saw that she would lose consciousness in the middle of discussions and would snore loudly during the night. After undergoing a straightforward sleep study, it was determined that she had moderate sleep apnea. After she started using a continuous positive airway pressure (CPAP) machine, which is a little device that maintains her airway open, she experienced a restoration of her daytime energy and a drop in her blood pressure of approximately 20 points within a few of weeks. The symptoms of sleep apnea are not always obvious. There are times when it does not come with loud gas or significant awakenings. Even if it's just waking up more frequently than you used to, tossing and turning, or getting up multiple times during the night to use the restroom, it can be a sign of sleeplessness. In spite of this, your heart is working tirelessly behind the scenes to ensure your safety during each and every oxygen drop and restart operation. It doesn't take long for this kind of tension to compound up to a significant amount. In order to heal itself from the work that it conducts throughout the day, the heart needs rest that is both deep and constant. However, if you are frequently disrupted while sleeping, even if you do not fully awaken, your heart will never have the opportunity to rest and relax as it should. Fortunately, sleep apnea is treatable, and in many instances, it can be detected at an early stage using a straightforward test that can be performed at home overnight. Do not simply accept the fact that you are waking up frequently during the night. Particularly if you are experiencing dry mouth, headaches, or a quick heartbeat, you should discuss it with your physician. Receiving the appropriate treatment not only helps you sleep better, but it also has the potential to safeguard your heart and lengthen your life. Your heart should finally be able to relax and rest when you are sleeping. Nevertheless, if apnea is not addressed, nighttime becomes a test of endurance. The longer it goes unrecognized, the more effort your heart needs to put forth in order to defend itself. You are not required to live in such a manner. A night that provides your body with the things it genuinely requires, such as peace, oxygen, and uninterrupted restoration, is something you deserve. The fourth method is to use alcohol in order to fall asleep. Many adults over the age of 60 drink a glass of wine or a nightcap before going to bed. It is soothing and even reassuring to the senses. For some people, it appears to make it easier for them to fall asleep. On the other hand, the majority of people are unaware of the fact that drinking alcohol, particularly in the evening, can subtly interfere with the ability of your heart to rest, so putting a load on your cardiovascular system over the long run. How does it operate exactly? Although alcohol may initially cause you to feel sleepy, it actually disrupts the second half of your sleep cycle and makes it more difficult for you to fall asleep. Your body will begin to process the alcohol, which will result in your sleep becoming lighter, more fragmented, and less restorative. During this time, your heart ought to be slowing down and healing, but instead it is working harder than it should be. Your heart rate will also increase throughout the night if you drink alcohol. Deep sleep and rapid eye movement, REM, cycles are suppressed by it, which are precisely the stages in which your heart rate naturally decreases and your body enters a state of recovery. Because of the disruption of those stages, your blood pressure will continue to be elevated, your nervous system will continue to be on edge, and your heart will never completely power down. I'll illustrate this with an example. I had a conversation with a man named Calvin who was 72 years old and had been experiencing palpitations during the night. Though he believed it was harmless, he would have a drink or two in order to assist him in falling asleep. However, his heart monitor that was worn overnight revealed a different story. His pulse would speed up between the hours of 1 and 4 in the morning, precisely when his body ought to have been resting the most profoundly. When he reduced the amount of alcohol he consumed, not only did the palpitations stop, but he also reported that he felt more clear-headed and anxiety-free during the day. You should be aware that alcohol has an effect not just on your body temperature but also on your respiration, hydration, and other bodily functions. Additionally, it can cause you to sweat more during the night, throw off your circadian cycle, and make it more likely that you will experience bouts of sleep apnea. Every one of these things puts additional strain on your heart at precisely the moment when it ought to be recuperating. However, if you are using alcohol as a regular sleep aid, the risk increases. This does not indicate that you should never drink alcohol, however. It does become more dangerous. It might make it easier for you to fall asleep, but it prevents your body from getting the restorative, deep sleep that your heart needs. In the event that you are having trouble falling asleep at night, there are strategies that are more effective in promoting rest, methods that do not subtly undermine your emotional well-being. A warm shower, moderate stretching, quiet breathing exercises, or a steady wind-down routine are all great ways to relax and unwind. It's not only that these will help you get to sleep, they will make it easier for you to fall asleep, which is just what your heart requires. Because the true objective is not simply deviating from the path, staying in that deep, restorative sleep for a sufficient amount of time to allow your body to rebuild itself is the key. On the other hand, if alcohol gets in the way of it, your heart will end up paying the price, even if you don't feel it immediately away. I would appreciate it if you could use the fourth comment section below to let me know that you are continuing viewing this video and that you are finding these insights to be helpful. I strongly suggest that you subscribe to the channel and activate the bell if you have not already done so. This will ensure that you do not miss any videos. With your assistance, we are able to continue producing high-quality content that will both inform and inspire you. Now, let's proceed with our plans. A fifth option is to sleep in an environment that is quite warm. There is something reassuring about a warm and pleasant bedroom, particularly on nights when the temperature is low. Nevertheless, as we become older, sleeping in an environment that is excessively warm might gradually increase the amount of strain that our heart is under. In the beginning, something that seems to be calming to the body can really cause your internal systems to become disrupted over the night. The majority of people are completely unaware that this is taking place. The temperature of your inner body normally decreases when you are sleeping. This decrease is one of the factors that signals to your brain that it is time for you to take a break. It makes it possible for your metabolism to slow down, for your muscles to relax, and for your heart rate to reduce. However, if your room is excessively warm, whether as a result of heaters, an excessive number of blankets, or windows that are closed, the cooling process will be disrupted. The result is that your body has to exert more effort in order to expel heat, which causes your heart to be somewhat more active than it should be. And this is where things start to get serious. During the night, the little, consistent effort you make to maintain your temperature might cause your heart rate and blood pressure to increase. This, in turn, can hinder your cardiovascular system from achieving a state of complete rest. Even if you don't wake up with a sweat on your forehead, the quality of your sleep will be less restorative, lighter, and more taxing on your heart. Furthermore, there is the problem of dehydration. There is a tendency for the air to become dry in warm spaces, particularly during the winter months when heaters are running. Because of this, nasal passages become drier, mouth breathing occurs, and even moderate dehydration can occur, all of which can lead to an increase in the heart rate during the night and a decrease in oxygen flow. In addition, even minor dehydration can have an effect on the thickness of the blood and circulation, which can gradually put a stress on the heart in older persons. I'd like to brief you on Susan, who is 81 years old. In her bedroom, she always maintained a temperature of approximately 75 degrees, curled up in thick pajamas and many blankets, despite the fact that she believed she was simply maintaining her comfort level. She frequently awoke feeling drowsy, with headaches, and with a little sensation of pressure in her chest. Her physician recommended that she switch to a lighter blanket and reduce the temperature of the thermostat to 65 degrees. Within a week, she noticed that her sleep was becoming more restful, and she reported that she felt 5 years younger when she woke up. An optimal temperature for sleeping for the majority of adults is somewhere between 60 and 67 degrees. The cooler air makes it easier for your body to shift into sleep and allows it to remain in deeper sleep cycles for longer periods of time. When it comes to your heart, this means less work done overnight and more time spent recovering. If you have been maintaining the temperature in your room higher in order to maintain a cozy environment, you should consider lowering it a little bit. Create a gap in the window to allow air to flow in. Make use of layers that may be removed rather than piling on temperature. Your heart, your lungs, and your brain will all reap the benefits of the minor decrease in temperature that occurs throughout the evening hours. As a result of the fact that your heart will finally be able to obtain the break it has been yearning for all day when your bedroom works with your body rather than against it. Number 6. Ensuring that your sleep and wake times are not consistent. Rhythm is something that our bodies rely on as we become older. The sleep-wake cycle is also considered to be one of the most significant rhythms that we possess. You may be doing quiet damage to your heart if you are going to bed at different times each night, waking up at different hours, or frequently adjusting your sleep schedule. These behaviors can be detrimental to your heart health, despite the fact that you are still sufficient in terms of total hours of sleep. Here is why it is significant. A circadian rhythm is an internal clock that runs for 24 hours and is followed by your body. Your hormone levels, blood pressure, body temperature, and heart rate are all under the full control of this rhythm, which also regulates your blood pressure. When you maintain a regular pattern of sleep, your body is able to anticipate what it will experience. It does so in waves that are consistent and smooth, preparing for sleep and for waking up. However, if you consistently alter the time that you go to bed or whenever you wake up, those waves will become choppy, and your body will become confused. You are not only experiencing fatigue as a result of that confusion, it causes stress to be produced within your body. Inappropriately timed increases in hormones such as cortisol and adrenaline can occur. This causes your heart rate to remain elevated when it should be decreasing. And it also causes your blood pressure to begin following patterns that are not normal. Doing so places a greater burden on your cardiovascular system than you might initially believe. In addition to the quantity of sleep you get, the timing of that sleep is also important. People who go to bed late on some nights and early on others, or who sleep in late one day and wake up early the next, are more prone to suffer from heart disease, high blood pressure, and metabolic disorders, even if their total number of hours spent sleeping appears to be acceptable. I'll illustrate this with an example. In his 80th year, Walter was retired and content with his life. During one of the nights, he would remain up late watching baseball games. Next, get an early start on your bedtime. On occasion, he would sleep until 10 o'clock in the morning. On other occasions, he was awake by 6 o'clock. Over time, he experienced an increase in the frequency of his heart palpitations, and he never felt completely rested. It was recommended by his physician that he make a commitment to a regular bedtime and wake-up time that falls inside the same 1-hour window each and every day. He experienced an increase in his energy level, a reduction in his palpitations, and an improvement in the patterns of his nightly heart rate on his heart monitor within a span of 2 weeks. Predictability is essential to your emotions. The reality of the matter is, when does the day start and when does it end? That is what it wants to know. In addition, when you are consistent with your actions, your body will reward you with improved sleep, more consistent energy, and increased cardiovascular resilience. This change in bedtime might have an effect on your rhythm, even if it is only 30 minutes. Therefore, if you have been treating sleep as if it were something to be accommodated, it is possible that it is time to start treating it as something to safeguard. Create a restful habit for going to bed. Maintain a consistent wake-up hour each and every day, especially on the weekends, in a shorter amount of time than you might expect. Your body, and particularly your heart, will adjust to that rhythm. Because your heart is able to rest on a consistent schedule when sleep becomes a regular part of your life and not simply a leftover part of your schedule. And when sleep becomes a consistent element of your life, this kind of consistent rest is one of the most powerful gifts you can give yourself any time of your life. Regardless of your age, I would appreciate it if you could use the 6th comment section below to let me know that you are continuing viewing this video and that you are finding these insights to be helpful. I strongly suggest that you subscribe to the channel and activate the bell if you have not already done so. This will ensure that you do not miss any videos. With your assistance, we are able to continue producing high-quality content that will both inform and inspire you. Now, let's proceed with our plans. Porina. Lastly, some thoughts. In light of the fact that we have now covered all 6 habits, I would like to know how many of them have made their way into your routine without your knowledge. Undoubtedly, 1 or 2 of them stood out right away. It's possible that you find yourself thinking, I've been following that routine for years. Now, however, I have some excellent news. This pattern of behavior can be broken. In addition, even minor adjustments to the way you sleep can have a significant impact on the way your heart feels and works, particularly as you become older. This is not about being flawless in any way. Awareness is the key to success, due to the fact that sleep is not simply a period of rest. During this time, your heart will mend, your brain will reset, and your entire system will recuperate in preparation for the next day. And if that process is disrupted night after night by things like bad posture, big meals, alcohol, heat, erratic timetables, or concealed breathing difficulties, your heart will eventually pay the price for it. The knowledge that a better night's sleep is not out of reach is the most important thing. You do not require pricey devices, complete silence, or brand new routines in order to be successful. All you have to do is pay attention. Take note of the times when your body is experiencing fatigue. When you wake up more frequently, take note of it. Take note of how your heart has a feeling as you wake up. These subtle hints can direct you toward behaviors that not only promote greater sleep but also improved health. They can help you achieve both. Make sure that this is the one thing that you take away from this video. It's not just throughout the day that your heart puts in a lot of effort. Even during the night, it continues to function. In addition, by establishing a sleeping environment and a schedule that encourages genuine rest, you provide your heart with the opportunity to recuperate, strengthen, and remain stable for many years to come. We appreciate you being here with us today. It would be wonderful if you could get in touch with us. Please leave a comment below and tell us about one item you discovered today and how you intend to put it to use in your life right now. We place a high value on your opinions, so please do not be reluctant to share them with us. Our inspiration and encouragement are greatly increased as a result of reading your remarks. I would appreciate it if you would like, subscribe, and share this video if you found it to be informative and enjoyable. With your assistance, we are able to continue producing high-quality content that will both inform and inspire you. We appreciate you taking the time to watch, and we hope to see you in the future video.